Hello, React Native developers. I hope you are well. William here, recording from beautiful Zurich, Switzerland. In this video, we are looking at the Breathe app from the Apple Watch, a seemingly simple animation that relies on plain, honest trigonometry, but that leverages a lot of delightful details, namely the way circles leave traces on the way down and the way colors blend together. Let's have a look. Before we jump into VSCode, let's try to do the heavy duty on Figma. So we are going to have 6 circles like this, which we're going to move around the center circle. And let's try to build the final position. So we know that we're going to have one circle at this position, one circle at this position, and then we're going to have 2 circles at the top, here, I guess, at these positions, and these here at the bottom. And so what are these positions? So we have 6 circles, and here we have 2 pi, so 360 degrees. We can divide it by, so the number of circles, 6. So that would give us 60 degrees per circle. So let's try to rotate to 60 degrees. So here, oops, maybe I should center this line. Is that? Okay, that's centered. Let me build 2 lines. So here we have, on this circle, we have 0 degree, 60 degrees. We can do 120. So 120, 180, 240 here, 300, 360. So the centers of the circles are going to be placed into these positions. So let me try to do it here. So we're gonna have this here, here. Oh, it's hard to visualize. Let me try to do it roughly, and then we're gonna see how we can calculate these position. So here, this one, these, and I guess something like this. So this is gonna be the final position, and then we can use some blending of the color to get the nice effect from the Apple Watch. I think here, so you can use, oh, so let me just normal, here is it at layer screen. So this looks like on the Apple Watch. So the blending of the colors, we cannot do it in React Native. There is no blend mode. So I think what we're going to do, unfortunately, is to use opacity instead. I think here, if we would want to have a proper blending of the colors, we would have to do an OpenGL shader. And it might be something fun to do in the future. So let me go back to the normal blending and simply add opacity here. Let me say maybe 50%. So this is how we're going to do it, I think. So how are we going to find the positions of the circles? So we have radius, which is a constant value. It's always the same. And we have an alpha value, which depends on the index. So we have 2 pi, right? 360 divided by the number of circles. So I can do 2 times pi divided by 6. So times index. So index 0 is 0, then 60, 120, and so on. And so this simplifies to write 2 pi divided by 6 by pi divided by 3. Then we can get x and y value, which we have here based on the Cartesian coordinate system, which is the one we use at school. And then the one in the React Native Canva is kind of the same, but the y-axis is inverted. Plus here we have the center, which is not the 0, 0, it's at the top left corner. So this is how we convert. So from polar coordinates, which are here simple to calculate, to an x and y value that we can use in React Native. In Redash, we have a function that does this automatically for us. I just wanted to show it to you. I will link to a video where we explain such approach more in details, you can really walk just from the Pythagore theorem, you can really walk your way through manually to these positions. And I also have a lesson on it on my Start React Native animation course. But I just wanted to show it to you, but here we're going to use a function that gives us the position automatically. So let's jump into VSCode. So we have our circle component, which is empty for now. And here we have our container. And so we're going to add 6 circles. So I'm going to create an array of 6 values and map over it. And so we want the index. And we're going to return a circle component. We pass index as property, key is index. Let me import circle. And so here in circle props, we have index. And so we're going to draw a circle. So I'm going to let me add a container to it. So the circles, they overlay each other. So here I want a container with absolute fill to overlay each. And also the circle needs to be centered. So let me create a specific style for it. So let's call it container. So we have the absolute fill to overlay, and then justify content, center, align items, center. Okay, looking good. And so here we can have the circle. Background color, I can pick this one here. And so the size. So let's take the width of the screen. So the radius, we need the radius. So we want the diameter to be the width divided by 2, right? The 2 circles are taking the full width of the screen. And so the radius is diameter divided by 2. So here we're going to do, maybe I can do dot width divided by 4 directly, like this. So this is our radius. So we have width, it's 2r, height is 2r, and border radius is r. That looks good. Now let's, I'm thinking let's build the final position and then animate it. So the final position, so r we just need to calculate theta. So theta is index time, we said math pi divided by 3. So 2 pi divided by number of circle, 3. So actually here, number of circle, we could make it a property. So if you add more circles, it will calculate automatically the value. And so now we want x and y value, x, y. So we do polar to Canva. So theta we have, radius is r, and the center here I'm going to use, because I'm going to apply it to this layer, I'm going to use 0, 0. And let's try. So we can just add transform, translate x, translate y. It looks good. Let me add some opacity. 0.5 looks good. Maybe 0.6. And now so we have our final position. Let's animate. So we're going to create an animation value called progress. And we need to loop the animation value. And we're going to use higher order animations from React Native to do this. So these are really, I think it's a great concept in Reanimated 2, which I really love. I've made, I think, 2 videos on it on the YouTube channel. I will try to link to it in the video description. And I also have a lesson on it on my Reanimated 2 course, because you can leverage these higher order animations, but you can also build your own higher order animations, and this can enable really a cool range of use cases. But here, we're going to simply use the built-in higher order animations. So progress.value equals to, so we go to 1, so with timing, maybe duration, I don't know, 3 seconds, 3.5 seconds. And we want to repeat, so we're going to use with repeat. So you see how you can define the behavior of an animation value by composing functions with repeat, with timing, with delay, with sequence. In the Reanimated course, we use with bouncing. There is animation from, we use it also for the animation from the Office video. So you can really have a great level of composability thanks to these functions. I really, really love it. And so here we have our timing function. We repeat it indefinitely, so -1. Here it's the number of iterations. And we want a boomerang. So at the end, we want to go from 1 to 0 and not back 0 to 1. So boomerang is, I think, true. And it's complaining, I think, because it's a returned expression. So this should be good. Let me add the dependencies. And we need to pass progress as a property. So we have progress, which is a shared value. So animated shared value of number. And animated is, of course, reanimated. So these now become an animated style. So this is an animated view. Oops. And so I'm going to add style here. So this is an animated style. Oops. So style equals use animated style. And we return, so we return the transform. But now translate X, translate Y depend on the progress. So these X and Y value are only at the final position. So we have X and Y, and translate X is mix on progress.value. So mix is from redash, linear interpolation from 0 to 1. So progress value here goes, we go from 0 to X, and same for Y. Zero Y. Let me import use animated style. So that looks very good. And now we can add also the scale. So the scale, we go from, so at 1, we're at 1. And at 0, we can pick any value. Here I'm going to pick 0.3. That looks good, I think. We need to add some easing, I think, to the function, because on the Apple Watch, it goes slow at the end and at the beginning and fast in the middle. So I think here we have the this website, which I love to build easing function. So we want slow at the end, slow at the beginning, yes, and fast in the middle, like this. So we can do maybe something like this. Maybe it's a bit too harsh, so you can take 0.5. And oh my gosh, so here I'm really going all in on the shameless plug, but I also have a lesson on this cubic Bezier function and how they work. So yeah, let me use this parameter, so 050051. So here we're going to do easing dot Bezier. So I think what did we say? 005051. Easing from reanimated. That looks good. It's maybe it's a bit harsh, huh? But did I get it correctly? No, 050. That's why. Let's have a look. Yeah, I like it. I think it looks good. So now we can do the way on the way down. It leaves traces like on the Apple Watch. So we're gonna need an animation value to know if we're on the way down or not. So let me call it goes down. Default value is false. So it's a true or false animation value. So when on each iteration the callback of with timing is called, you can look, you receive as parameter the final value of the animation when the callback is called. And I think also you receive another parameter to tell you if the overall animation is over, I think. So I guess here, for instance, in the case of with repeat, it's not going to be over. It's not like the last iteration. Here, we don't even need to look at the final value. We can just toggle the value. So it's false, then it's true, then it's false. So here, if I add a callback, I can simply do goes down dot value is the opposite. So equals the opposite value. So now we know if we are going down or not. Let me pass this as a property. So goes down, animated shared value of Boolean. And now we're going to draw two circles overlaid on top of each other. Two circles that are identical. So here we're going to have a second animation style, which is kind of identical. So let me factorize, but so they all share the same transformation, right? So let me factorize this into a worklet function. So let me, yes, create a worklet function called transform. So we have the progress. And I guess we need index as well. And very important, it's a worklet. And this is the transform we want to return. So here, progress, we get as a number directly. So that looks good. So it enables us to factorize the animated style. So here, transform equals to transform of progress.value and index. And we can do the same for style 1. It looks good, and actually based on the color we can tell that the values are overlaid on top of each other. But here what we, I guess for the one at the, so I'm going to move style 1 to as an underlay. Here we want to add some delay to progress.value. So I'm going to call it progress1. So progress1, if we are going up, so here we have goes down dot value. So if we are going up, it's the same value. We leave no trace. If it goes down, we want to leave a trace. So we want to add some delay. So I can take progress.value and add 0.1. So for instance, when the real circle is at 90%, the this circle that leaves the trace will still be at 100%. And so of course, here we also want to clamp. So but we want to stay at between 0 and 1, right? So we clamp. So when we're at the real circle is at 100%, we want the trace circle to still be at 100%. Here it doesn't make sense to be at 110%. So clamp from redash, perfect. And now let me see if this works. So this works nicely, but of course we want now to add the opacity. We want the circle to disappear eventually. So we're going to add opacity and we're going to interpolate on progress 1. And so we go, let's say, to 0.75, 1. And here at 0.75 opacity will be 0 and at 1 opacity will be 1. Or maybe 0.5. Here, I guess we can tweak it. And we pass opacity as parameter. Here we want to extrapolate clamp. I think it's important. Let's have a look. Yeah, so here maybe I wouldn't 0.75 seems harsh. Maybe I can put 0.6. But it does the job nicely. And now one thing we forgot is to do the overall rotation of the Canva. So I'm gonna do here an animated style. So first, we wanted to fill in the whole container. So absolute position fill. And, I guess here I could put flex 1. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Flex 1, it doesn't need to overlay because there is no other elements. So let's create our animated style. So style equals use animated style. We have our transform with the rotate. The rotate needs to be a string to work on Android. And here we interpolate from progress.value. At 1, it's 0. And at 0, we can put any value here. Let's do pi or 2 pi. I don't know. Let me import these guys up. Let's have a look. So you see here it rotates nicely, exactly like on the Apple Watch example. Isn't that cool? So here a fun example that we've built using trigonometry. But if we really wanted to have it pixel perfect, like on the Apple Watch, I think we would really have to use an OpenGL to do so. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this example. I'm definitely going to do other examples based on the Apple Watch. There are like some really interesting gestures and animations in there. So I am looking forward to talk to you soon. And until next time, happy hacking.